In classical antiquity, Illyria was a region in the western part of the Balkan Peninsula inhabited by the Illyrians. The prehistory of Illyria and the Illyrians is known from archaeological evidence. The Romans conquered the region in 168 BC in the aftermath of the Illyrian Wars. The Roman term Illyries was sometimes used to define an area north of the Aouz Valley, most notably Illyries proper. Mythology. In Greek mythology, the name of Illyria is etiologically traced to Illyrius, the son of Cadmus and Harmonia, who eventually ruled Illyria and became the eponymous ancestor of the Illyrians. A later version of the myth identifies Polyphemus and Galatea as parents of Celtus, Galas and Illyrius. The second myth could stem perhaps from the similarities to Celts and Gauls. Kingdoms. The earliest recorded Illyrian kingdom was that of the Entula in the 8th century BC. The era in which we observe other Illyrian kingdoms begins approximately at 400 BC and ends at 167 BC. The Auteriatae and Deplorias were considered to have been a kingdom. The kingdom of the Rda began at 230 BC and ended at 167 BC. The most notable Illyrian kingdoms and dynasties were those of Badilus of the Dardani and of Agron of the Rda, who created the last and best-known Illyrian kingdom. Agron ruled over the Rda and had extended his rule to other tribes as well. As for the Dardanians, they always had separate domains from the rest of the Illyrians. The Illyrian kingdoms were composed of small areas within the region of Illyria. Only the Romans ruled the entire region. The internal organization of the South Illyrian kingdoms points to imitation of their neighboring Greek kingdoms and influence from the Greek and Hellenistic world in the growth of their urban centers. Polybius gives us an image of society within an Illyrian kingdom as peasant infantry fought under aristocrats, which he calls in Greek polydynastae, where each one controlled a town within the kingdom. The monarchy was established on hereditary lines, and Illyrian rulers used marriages as a means of alliance with other powers. Pliny writes that the people that formed the nucleus of the Illyrian kingdom were Illyrians proper, or Illyrii propria dicta. They were the Taulantii, the Pluria, the Endirudini, Sassari, Grabae and the Labitai. These later joined to form the Decleata. Roman and Byzantine rule. The Romans defeated Gentius, the last king of Illyria, at Scodra in 168 BC and captured him, bringing him to Rome in 165 BC. 4 client republics were set up, which were in fact ruled by Rome. Later, the region was directly governed by Rome and organized as a province, with Scodra as its capital. The Roman province of Illyricum replaced the formerly independent kingdom of Illyria. It stretched from the Drilon River in modern Albania to Istria in the west and to the Sava River in the north. Salona functioned as its capital. After crushing a revolt of Pannonians and Daesitiates, Roman administrators dissolved the province of Illyricum and divided its lands between the new provinces of Pannonia in the north and Dalmatia in the south. Although this division occurred in 10 AD, the term Illyria remained in use in late Latin and throughout the medieval period. After the division of the Roman Empire, the bishops of Thessalonica appointed papal vicars for Illyricum. The first of these vicars is said to have been Bishop Archolius or Ascolius, the friend of Saint Basil. In the 5th century, the bishops of Illyria withdrew from communion with Rome, without attaching themselves to Constantinople, and remained for a time independent, but in 515, 40 Illyrian bishops renewed their loyalty to Rome by declaring allegiance to Pope Hormisdas. The Patriarchs of Constantinople succeeded in bringing Illyria under their jurisdiction in the 8th century. Legacy. The name Illyria only disappears from the historical record after the Ottoman invasion of the Balkans in the 15th century, and re-emerges in the 17th century, acquiring a new significance in the Ottoman-Habsburg Wars. As Leopold I designated as the Illyrian nation, the South Slavs on Hungarian territory. The name Illyria was revived by Napoleon for the Illyrian provinces that were incorporated into the French Empire from 1809 to 1813, and the Kingdom of Illyria was part of Austria until 1849, after which time it was not used in the reorganized Austro-Hungarian Empire. In popular culture, William Shakespeare chose a fictionalized Illyria as the setting for his play Twelfth Night. A fictional Kingdom of Illyria is postulated alongside historical late medieval states of the region in the Fovnica Armorial. An extensive history of Illyria by Charles du Fresnay, Sieur du Cange, was published by Joseph Keglevich in 1746. The land of Illyria is the setting for Jean-Paul Sartre's Les Mainsails and in Lloyd Alexander's The Illyrian Adventure. John Hawke's 1970 novel The Blood Oranges is set in a fictionalized Illyria reminiscent of Shakespeare's. In Christopher Parolini's Inheritance Cycle, Illyria is the former name of an elven city north of Lake Tudostan. It was later renamed Yoru Bahrain when captured by Galbatorix and the Forsworn.